Norway's decision to eliminate Germany's EuroPULS from its long-range precision firing systems, LRPFS, competition marks a turning point not only in Oslo's artillery modernization but also in the broader geopolitical balance shaping NATO's deep fires architecture. What might look like a routine procurement development is, in reality, a strategic signal with implications for transatlantic cooperation, European defense autonomy, and the evolving role of Asian defense suppliers inside the alliance. By narrowing the field to two non-European contenders, the US HIMARS/GMARS family and South Korea's K-239 Chunmu, Norway has disrupted expectations in Berlin, frustrated European industry leaders, and injected a new level of uncertainty into NATO's long-term strike posture in the High North. The timing of the decision adds a layer of diplomatic tension. Germany and Norway have spent the past year celebrating milestones of deepened cooperation, joint production of the 212CD submarines, synchronized acquisition of the Leopard 2A8 main battle tank, and a declared ambition to build a more resilient European defense industrial partnership. That is precisely why German Defense Minister Boris Pistorius used the recent Leopard 2A8 handover ceremony to publicly urge Norway to adopt the EuroPULS system as part of a European rocket artillery cluster. His message, emphasizing interoperability, supply security, and strategic autonomy, was carefully crafted. Yet according to reporting from Hartpunkt, Oslo had already removed EuroPULS months earlier, most likely over concerns about cost, production timelines, and delivery guarantees. Berlin's onstage appeal therefore highlighted the political stakes more than the technical ones. For Germany, losing Norway would not only hurt EuroPULS exports but would also undermine the credibility of its broader vision for a sovereign European deep fires ecosystem. The U.S. offer, built around the combat-proven M142 HIMARS and the emerging GMARS launcher, presents Norway with the most operationally mature option. HIMARS has become emblematic of modern mobile precision strike warfare, especially following its high-profile performance in Ukraine. With the ability to fire GMLRS rockets to around 80 km, GMLRS to 150 km, and future precision strike missiles to well beyond 500 km, HIMARS provides a scalable path from tactical to theater-level effects. Its high mobility, small logistical footprint, and compatibility across NATO make it a straightforward integration choice. Meanwhile, GMARS, mounted on Rheinmetall's HX8x8 chassis, adds heavier firepower with double the pod capacity and a payload capable of launching up to 4 PRSMs. For Norway, GMARS offers a launcher that aligns with national terrain requirements and that benefits from a truck platform already common among European militaries, potentially simplifying maintenance and training. The main drawback is political rather than technical, relying on U.S. export approvals. Washington has already shown reluctance to release the newest generation of long-range munitions to several allies, and Oslo is acutely aware that its autonomy in a crisis could hinge on American political decisions. South Korea's Chunmu, by contrast, offers a technically flexible and politically less restrictive alternative. The K-239 system's dual-pod architecture and mix-and-match approach to munitions give it a versatility that European and American systems currently lack. With guided 239mm rockets reaching roughly 80 km and CTM-290 ballistic missiles extending to about 290 km, Chunmu occupies the mid-range strike space with precision reportedly in the single-digit meters. More importantly for Norway, Seoul has repeatedly demonstrated its willingness to localize production, integrate national command and control systems, and adapt platforms to European chassis, as seen with Poland's HIMARS project. Hanwha's establishment of cooperation with Cody's Nordics on simulator development further underscores that the Korean bid is not just about hardware, it is a long-term industrial partnership. When combined with Norway's existing fleet of Korean-made K-9 Vidar howitzers and K-10 ammunition vehicles, Chunmu could form the backbone of a cohesive artillery ecosystem, maximizing logistical and training synergies in a way neither the US nor European offerings can match. Yet the true strategic twist lies in what Norway is turning away from. EuroPULS, derived from Israel's PULS system but evolving into a distinctly European launcher under KNDS leadership, was meant to anchor Europe's independent deep fires capability. With compatible 122 and 160 mm rockets, extra rockets to 150 km, and Predator Hawk quasi-ballistic missiles to 300 km, the system offers a full spectrum of precision effects. Germany, Denmark, and the Netherlands have already committed to the platform, and Diehl Defense is establishing European production lines to reduce reliance on Israeli and US stockpiles. Perhaps most intriguingly, recent trials have proven EuroPULS capable of launching the Norwegian-designed Naval Strike Missile, NSM, giving the system dual land attack and coastal defense capabilities with ranges well above 250 km. This unique synergy placed EuroPULS at the top of many analysts' predictions for Norway, especially given that Oslo and Berlin are jointly developing the 3SM Turfing, a future 800 to 1000 km range anti-ship missile intended to become Europe's premier long-range maritime strike weapon. Selecting EuroPULS would have created a clear land-based launch path for Turfing. By excluding it, Norway introduces uncertainty into the missile's future deployment concepts. The domestic political and industrial context adds yet another layer of complexity. Norwegian defense giants Kongsberg and Aker have reportedly urged the government to select EuroPULS, citing the potential for deep national involvement in launcher production, missile integration, and software development. From their perspective, EuroPULS would maximize value retention in the national industry, strengthen sovereign capabilities, and align with long-term cooperative programs like Turfing. At the same time, Norway's current defense budget draft does not explicitly include rocket artillery, leaving the final decision likely tied to the implementation of the Norwegian Defense Pledge, a long-term plan injecting roughly 600 billion kroner into defense between 2025 and 2036. That financial framework greatly expands Norway's strategic options but does not dictate which long-range fire system must be chosen. From NATO's viewpoint, the implications are profound. Choosing HIMARS or GMARS would reinforce the growing HIMARS belt stretching from the Baltic states down through Central Europe and into the High North, creating a unified US-centered precision fires ecosystem across key frontline states. This would drastically simplify Allied logistics and interoperability but also concentrate critical supply chains around the United States. Selecting Chunmu, on the other hand, would signal a major shift. It would mark the first time a non-Western system anchors NATO's deep fires architecture in a core member state. If integrated successfully, it could accelerate broader Asian-European defense cooperation and diversify alliance strike capabilities away from dependence on U.S. export decisions. A dramatic late comeback for EuroPULS remains possible, but Norway's quiet exclusion of KNDS suggests that political advocacy may not outweigh operational and industrial considerations. Ultimately, Norway's choice is about more than range tables, truck chassis, or missile payloads. It is a geopolitical decision about who will empower Oslo to project precision fires hundreds of kilometers into the Barents and Baltic theaters during the most dangerous decade for European security since the Cold War. Whether Norway aligns its deep strike future with American dominance, Korean industrial adaptability, or a reasserted European sovereignty will shape not only its own defense posture but also the balance of technological and political power inside NATO for years to come.